Welcome to Nerdindex. Today we're creating our final tier list for the winter 2025 anime season. First off, we ended up dropping a lot of shows. I'm fairly confident this is the most shows I've ever dropped in a single season. Winter 2025 as a whole kind of felt mediocre when you take things like Solo Leveling and My Happy Marriage out of the mix, and there were so many romances this season that I just didn't connect with. So whether these drops were because these shows actually weren't interesting or because I was in a depressive episode during the last half of the season is hard to say. But that's why I always use you as a sounding board. What did you think about the shows that we dropped? Was it like legit not working?
Yeah, most of these felt like they just kind of landed a little flat or didn't have the scope to hold up a whole season of a show.
Yeah, that's fair. The first show going into the best tier would be Apothecary Diaries. This was the first half of season 2. Then we have Arifureta season 3, which is becoming more and more mediocre per season. So I feel like it's just average. Kind of between average and meh.
Yeah, I can leave it as average because I think we have a lot more meh shows that are going to happen this season.
Yeah.
Kind of in the scope of the season, it feels average.
Yeah, compared to everything else. Then we had Danmachi season 5, which is probably one of my least favorite seasons of the show. So it does not represent my feelings about the IP. It's just this season, which was also average.
Yeah, seems fair. I feel like we could have done more this season, but we got a little held up.
Then we have SAKAMOTO Days, which I thought was really fun. So it's probably more like a runner-up because I really enjoyed the time we spent there.
Had some fun action. Body slamming a T-Rex is always a good time.
Then we have I'm a Noble on the Brink of Ruin, so I might as well try Mastering Magic, which ended up very meh to me. It did not keep my attention after the first 4 episodes, but I still didn't drop it.
Yeah, I think I agree with that one. It had some potential, but kind of sat there and didn't do as much with its plot as it could have.
Then we have Bogus Skill Fruitmaster, which is also technically meh because there was a lot of disjointedness in the storytelling.
I feel like this one could have been almost 3 shows. Definitely 2 shows.
Yeah. For possibly the greatest alchemist of all time, this one was actually a better tier of that isekai silliness. So that one's an average compared to Noble and Fruitmaster.
A little bit higher tier. Trash isekai show.
Mm-hmm. We actually put off watching season 4 of Blue Exorcist until season 5 was also out, but season 5 is the only one listed here because that's the one that aired in winter, and season 5 by itself was disappointing and average to me because we were just in a backstory the entire time. For me personally, I Have a Crush at Work was between average and meh because if not for the secondary couple, I was feeling really checked out. I didn't connect with the main characters that much.
I think it was one of the more fun romances that we got this season, but it wasn't super engaging or gripping.
I appreciate that they keep trying to do office romances or adult romances, and it was also kind of interesting that this show showed us more about their actual jobs at their work too.
Yeah, that was kind of cool having it not just be an office environment, they're actually a sweets company.
Yeah. Then we have Unnamed Memory, which is also best tier to me. I really enjoy the characters and the magic and the story, and I felt like season 2 really did a good job wrapping up the story as a whole.
Yeah, I think especially if you put it as a whole package of season 1 and 2, that was a really good show. And it's nice to have actual conclusions in shows every now and then.
Yeah. For Re:Zero season 3, I felt like it was pretty average. I did not enjoy the way that the villains were handled this season.
And I feel like the slow start kind of killed its momentum.
For even given the worthless Appraiser class, I found the characters to be a little bit more endearing. And so I think that kind of made it more of an average than a meh to me.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Welcome to Japan Miss Elf was really cute and it didn't have a whole lot of substance, and so I'm torn between average and meh because it's like I did enjoy it and I didn't think about dropping it at all, so I think that then that means it's average.
Yeah, I'd put it as average. If we had gotten an actual conclusion,
yeah,
it could have been a runner-up show. It was surprisingly good.
If only we had at least done something in the dungeon that we found.
or finished anything in the real world, or they just left both storylines flat. So it gets average.
I may be a guild receptionist, but also any boss to clock out on time started out really strong, but did not have a strong ending. So that's also pretty average.
Yeah, fair. Kind of one of those shows that overstayed its welcome a little bit.
Yeah. But again, if I didn't think about dropping it, I don't think it should go in C. Because C was like the cusp before dropping. Babanba Banban Vampire actually really surprised me this season, and I got a lot more laughs out of it than I was expecting, so it was a runner-up.
You go into it being like a weird show.
You know it's going to be weird, so you're just along for the ride of it being weird, and it's not something that you would necessarily be all like, hey, anime friends, go watch it, because it's pretty niche.
But you're here for the silly times.
Solo Leveling Season 2. Blew my mind. I swear I did not have very strong feelings for season 1, but I fell in love with season 2. It's amazing. It's in best.
Yeah, it lived up to kind of the potential that season 1 left us with a little bit, and really good fun action.
I watched Toilet Bound Hanako season 2 without you because way back in the day when we watched season 1, you ended up falling asleep and I binged the whole thing that one night, and so you don't know what's going on anymore.
It's not my fault.
But I thought season 2 was still fun, so it was a runner-up. Medalist was one of those ones where I could see why people like it, but I didn't connect with it. And I don't want to sit here being like, oh, it was bad, because obviously it wasn't bad, but for me, it was average.
Well, that's surprising.
What?
I thought you were going to go meh.
I didn't think about dropping it.
Well, you had stronger opinions than I did then. It can go an average.
Yeah, you almost told me to watch it without you.
Uh-huh.
What was your biggest turnoff then?
I struggle with shows where people are trying to be kind of too competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
The competitive energy was really high. For the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You season 2, I should have dropped it. I shouldn't have let the community hype sweep me away. I should have just listened to my disappointment, and I should have dropped it, but I didn't, and so it's meh. The Daily Life of a Middle-Aged Shopper in Another World was really funny and like high energy through the first half, but then I kind of started to feel a little disconnected in the second half. So it's like average. A lot of shows this season really flopped the second half now that we're talking about it.
It happens a lot with shows. This one started off, first episode, really fun. Kind of the rest of the premise, just pedaled along.
There were still some funny moments here and there, just not as strong. Ameku MD Dr. Detective was actually way better than I was expecting it to be, so I think that'd be like a runner-up.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
So I'm back to the season 1 was great and I loved it and it was a 10 out of 10, but season 2 of My Happy Marriage was I felt... It's not that I want her to suffer, but she definitely...
The story's more interesting and involved when she's struggling.
Yeah, so the struggles that the story presented to her this season didn't make her as interesting, but she's still so wonderful and cute, and I still like them as a couple a lot, so I think it's still best. Yeah, it's not that my opinion of the story as a whole went down or anything, and I still really enjoyed watching it. We watched that one after a series of shows that we either dropped or didn't like that much, and so watching that with a breath of fresh air, being like, oh, this is what a good show is like again. So for context, I dropped Orb. I did, you didn't, because I legitimately watched 4 episodes and then went to bed and had nightmares about the torture. So I was just like, no, I'm not doing this.
I'm much more tolerant to gore and torture.
Unfeeling. No.
So, caveat, I'm 7 episodes in, and I've watched episode 22, so I have
On accident?
On accident, yeah. So I have a fairly decent idea of where the show's going. I'm really excited to see how it gets there and what we're gonna do. So, I haven't finished it, so I can't put it in best. So, I'm gonna say it's runner-up.
And then you watched Shangri-La Frontier Season 2 without me because I watched the first season and was like, this is the experience of watching a streamer, but you'd rather be playing the game for yourself instead.
I feel like Season 2 picked up a decent amount, except in the second half, we started 5 storylines and finished 1, maybe 2. And so it gets marks off there.
But you're getting a Season 3, right? They already announced it?
I believe so. So I'm going to put it in average because it didn't finish the story.
I don't think it was meant to this season. I don't think anybody thought it would, but to leave you with that many loose ends is a little
We
frustrating.
have two huge loose ends. He's literally underwater fighting a boss and in a video game tournament with his friends in the real world.
Like literally in the middle of both.
In the middle of both.
Oh, that's unacceptable. Okay.
We're like 3 or 4 days into a 7-day raid in Shangri-La Frontier, and we're playing a different game in a tournament live.
Oof.
And we've played like one match. Like, that's not where you leave a season.
So there's our final tier list for the Winter 2025 anime season, and I feel really biased looking at that best column, seeing that it's all returning seasons. But hopefully you see something in the A's or maybe even the B's that you're like, oh, maybe I will give it a chance. And if you want to see our full opinions on any of these shows, they're all on our channel in the playlist for this season. And if you're having fun, please like and subscribe.